Hey guys, wanted to give you a quick update from what happened over the weekend. I realized I'm wearing the same shirt. It is clean. I did wash my shirt from the last video, but we took a team down. I ended up getting three other people to go with me, and I met one guy out there from Wyoming, Kansas City. So, like I said in the last video, it was a lot that I shared, but if you guys want to catch up, you can watch the last video. So we took a crew down to Minneapolis at Ground Zero, where George Floyd had been killed by the police, and where people were in the streets rioting, protesting, and we didn't really know what we were getting into when we went. We were just so moved to act. I was moved to act, and so many others were moved. And so we met a team from YWAM Kona there, and JT Thomas and Andrew Chalmers from I'm gonna get this wrong. There was Take the City there, and then yeah, I think it was Take the City. So, sorry if I got that ministry wrong, but whatever. It's like 25 of us, and we met a pastor there who was right catty corner to where George Floyd was killed, and he had been a pastor there for 40 years and just had a heart for that area. And so he got in contact with Jonathan and was like, hey, can you guys bring a team? And we all just rolled deep, went out there. Didn't really know what we were going to do, but we just started to serve, and the plan just started to kind of develop, and all we knew is that we needed to bring Jesus to the streets. He was the only answer for unrest and for the brokenness. And so this was kind of a cool story. There was this guy who was kind of like a gangster in that area, and he had just been tired of his city being trashed, and so he went to the pastor and was like, how can I help? And he was, he's like kind of a rougher guy. His name was, I won't say his name, but he was a rougher guy, awesome, amazing dude. And he, there's like, Jonathan was like, hey man, we need a stage. And he's like, done. So I went to Home Depot and got a bunch of building materials, but he had just been shot a few months ago, and so he was missing a finger, and his hip was super bad. I think he got shot 7 times, and so he was not in good shape to be able to bend and move and build this stage. So me and my friend Brock were able, I'm so glad we're there because we built the stage. So construction and maintenance stuff came in handy. So me and Brock built the stage, and so then they asked this guy, he's like, hey, what else do you guys need? And we're like, well, hey, it's kind of like loud around here. A lot of different voices coming in everywhere saying all kinds of crazy stuff on megaphones and stuff. Do you think you could like make it kind of quiet for a while? For at 5 o'clock, we'd like to do an hour of silence and prayer, and then share the gospel. He's like, done. He went to the 5 different leaders that were around in this quarter of the city where of Chicago and 38th Street in Minneapolis, where George Floyd was shot. And he went to everyone, was like, hey, we're gonna go 5 o'clock. We need you to be quiet. And they're like, hey man, hey, no problem. And you could tell he was the guy who had total authority in that area. And so he went to all those people, and sure enough, when 5 o'clock came, after you'd just been serving the community, loving the community, got a plan to share the gospel, do some worship, and do this really prophetic act where we had a moment of silence in protest for the killing of George Floyd. So the protest actually was able to draw people in. We announced that we were going to have a silent protest, that we would tape white tape over our mouth which represents purity, and we would write on that tape what we were interceding or praying for, hoping for. We said even hope. They said, so whoever you are, come join us. We want to. And so these people and all of us stood still for an hour and prayed. You can't get people to do anything for an hour right now. It was amazing to see the unity that the banner of Jesus brought, and the peace that was there in the crisis area at that time. So there was a moment of silence for an hour. Everybody stayed quiet, and then we started with some worship music after, and Jonathan shared just his heart for racial reconciliation, and the only way to do that is through the gospel of Jesus, and people were glued to him. It was amazing. And then my friend Christoph, who went with me with India in 2014, powerful guy. Loved his heart. He's got such a heart for the black community, and he shared the powerful gospel, and people were just jaws to the ground. And when they gave a time response, people responded and came forward and received Jesus, and it was amazing. We got to pray with people. Muslims were coming to Jesus. Guys, this was amazing. I'm so encouraged. I'm so stirred. And it was all because of our simple yes. We saw a crisis, we were moved, and we just obeyed. I didn't know what I was going to do there. I don't know how I was going to do it, but it was so cool to see how the body of Christ came together in the time of crisis to be a light in a dark place. And we saw people come to Jesus. We sat and wept with people, and people were so encountered. So there's a couple more testimonies that I want to, personal testimonies that happened there that I'm going to share later. But I just wanted to give you guys a broad overview of what happened in the weekend. So thank you for praying. It was amazing. And I'll share a couple testimonies with y'all later. So just wanted to give you an update. Hope you guys are doing well.